This is a Webley Premier. So this Webley Premier was made after the Senior, and this is a Webley target for the rifle. This is the Premier. And again, you cock these by pressing, same as a Senior, and pull it over. The trigger looks like sintered metal to me, rather than machined, like it was on the Webley Senior. This one's got the instructions in the box. Tells you how to load it. That's the Premier. It says Premier on the right in there. Trigger adjustment there. That's the locking screw, that's the adjuster. And in this box we've got Webley air rifles and pistols. Know your air rifle and pistol. Turn it over. This comparative test is what I used to use in the early 60s because no one had a chronograph. This is how I can tell what a gun's doing. Get a really good idea without a chronograph, as long as you use the same pellets. I always used to use ED Wasp for that because they was harder than others. Because on a full power gun the pellet would be completely destroyed and a little circle in the would be left in the steel plate. This law's out of date now. Webley Jaguar. They used to do one of the same size, but it's called a Junior, and it had a rifled barrel the same as that one, but the barrel in this one was like brass, but they was very accurate. The Webley Hawk, they had 2 piston rings inside, and they also had interchangeable barrels. Never really liked them much. This is the Webley Mark III and the Super Target. The Webley Mark III had a tapered barrel, so it got smaller towards the end, and then the Super Target had a ball barrel, so it was the same thickness all the way to the end. But I noticed later on Webley decided that they didn't have the ball barrels, so they actually called a Webley Mark III in 177, they called it a Super Target, but it wasn't really, because it didn't have a ball barrel, and they just put aperture sights on it and called it a Super Target. But the genuine Super Targets had a ball barrel, so it was the same barrel, they didn't taper down. Here we've got the air pistols, Junior, because the later Juniors was rifled, the earlier ones wasn't. And then there's the Premier. Here's the accessories they did. Air rifle cases and the Webley pellets. Mickey Mouse scope They was about 4x15 and 4x20. Bit of a waste of time. And then here we've got the actual sales. It was bought 17th of the 5th 1973, and it cost £15.68. Here is the famous name. It says inspection ticket. Guarantee. This little sign here says warning. Warning. To avoid damage, make sure barrel is properly secured before firing. Do not fire without a pellet in the barrel. And this is the exploded diagram of it. For the spares. Design Centre London. Here we've got more notices. Should it become necessary to obtain spare parts or to effect repairs to your Webley, please apply to the dealer from whom you made the purchase. If in difficulty, write to the Service Department, Webley and Scott Limited, Park Lane, Handsworth, Birmingham, B21 8LU, England. The other one was to adjust the trigger pull weight. Unscrew the keeper screw on the left hand side of the trigger guard. Adjust the adjusting screw at the front of the trigger guard to pull weight required. Tighten keeper screw, that's the lock screw. Before firing, ensure keeper screw has been tightened. Great care should be taken in adjusting below 4 pounds pull weight if instantaneous discharge is to be avoided. Another leaflet with the guns in. Webley Mark III and the Junior pistol. Hawk air rifle and Jaguar. They must have discontinued the Junior. What was it called? A Ranger? Might have been called a Ranger.